Good evening. Just a quick intro into this video. My videos tend to be about 15 or 20 minutes long. I know that's what most people are looking for. This one runs a little bit longer than this. There's a lot of good information in there, suggestions on how to improve your photography, looking at your products and everything. So I encourage you to stick with it if you have interest in improving your videos. There will be a part 2. I have to retake some pictures somewhere in the import process. The pictures I took while I was doing this video on the still camera got lost. So I will do a follow-up video and take some more pictures of both the bowl and the Beads of Courage bowl and be able to do that. Thank you. Enjoy the video. Hope this helps. Just set up what we're going to talk about today. Over here on my left hand side is a new photo cube. It's a 30-inch photo cube. I'll put all of the particulars about the products that we're going to look at, the processes we're going to talk about today, down in the description so you can find them. Got it on Amazon. This photo cube comes with a set of inserts. Now, as you can probably see in the background, there's a blue insert inside the photo cube. There's also a red one. There's also a black one. And of course, there's a white one. That's dirty, which is not good for what we're doing. Should have put it down there. So, what I want to talk about today is how to take better pictures. So the first thing we're going to do is give a shout out. Shout out to Tom Stratton. Tom Stratton's got a YouTube video out there on how to make a fixture for your lathe or your workshop or outside, whichever you want to take it, wherever you want to take your pictures at. And it's very informative. It's very good. It really got me going more on the right direction of taking better pictures. I've got some bowls and some other things that I've turned. Some of them are what I would call almost finished products. Some that I have been finished but are not really for sale, but they're good to use for what we're talking about. And I have one or two things that could certainly be a finished product if I was selling them. One of them is the Beads of Courage bowl, and we'll look at two different Beads of Courage bowls. One that was ready to ship and one that is going to ship. We're going to look at a few other things like that. What I'm going to do is go through, put some different backgrounds, talk about what I'm doing with the camera, if I do any manual settings with the camera, if I do automatic settings, if I use flash, and also what I have behind me. Can't really see it at the moment, but I'll pull one of them out, is some additional lights. Now, this was a kit. 2 lights. It's got a fluorescent bulb or a fluorescent type bulb in it. I believe they are fluorescent. They're daylight bulbs. And what's really important is whatever you're going to do, you should have the same color bulbs. That's how they talk about what kind of light you get in photography. What is the color? So daylight bulbs are used by a lot of different people. I have a number of the bulbs in my shop that are daylight. The fluorescent fixture that's right above us has got daylight bulbs. There's daylight bulbs that are over my lathe, over my grinder. The bulbs that are over the photo cube right now are not daylight bulbs. I really need to change them out. But the two bulbs that I have are daylight bulbs. And so what I'm going to do is basically walk through the pop-up, talk about what's there, talk about what you do with it, and then we'll take some pictures, we'll look at the results, and we'll see what we think. I'll take some still photos, I'll also take some videos. Now, I've done a little work on the still photos previous to starting up the videotaping, but I will take all the photos over again, so I kind of know what to expect. but you'll learn as I learn as we go along here, and hopefully you'll be able to get something out of this. So what I will tell you first is that I'm going to go ahead and leave the blue background in here. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to leave the blue background in here, and I'm going to turn on the lights. So you should be able to see from that view. Let me move the camera over here so the camera is looking directly inside. The camera is looking directly inside, and I just have a piece of a cedar that's been a cedar cut off that I'm going to do something with, that I have in there simply to be able to use to put the product on. So the first product we're going to start with, let me see if I can get here in front of the camera and stop moving around, is the first bowl I ever turned. Now it's still got a spigot on the bottom of it, or a tenon on the bottom of it, but it is waxed, it is finished, it's red oak, it's been glued together. It's a nice little bowl, and I won't ever get rid of it. I'll keep it because, again, it is my first one. And I took some pictures of this early on, and it looked all right, but it really didn't do what I wanted it to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it inside. I'm going to zoom in. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit. I am going to zoom in so we get a look at the bowl. And then what I'm going to do is as you will see, there's a light on the left side. Let me move my camera. And a light on the right side. They come with tripods, they're adjustable. My entire setup, the photo cube, the backgrounds, the 2 light stands, all came from Amazon. It was less than $100 for the whole thing. Lock, stock, and barrel. It works really good right there on my bench. Now, these are soft lights. They're not bright, glaring lights. The white pop-up box is meant to diffuse the light and to make sure that you don't get a lot of shine off of it. So what I'm going to do is just stop here, and we're going to play like that. That's a taken picture of it with a blue background. So what I'm going to do in a few minutes is I'll show you how the backgrounds are switched out. The other thing I'll point out is, and you'll notice this, should be able to notice this, you can really see in this picture the crease that's right here, the creases that are over here. That takes away from the quality of your picture. The crease that's in the back wall takes away from the quality of the picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that like that. Now if I turn off the lights, you get a different view of the bowl. Now it's the video camera is adjusting for this. This is what this looks like without the other lights on there. Other thing you could look at is those lights are almost completely parallel to where the bowl is. But what happens is there's a little bit of a darkness right here in the bowl. It's because it doesn't have as much light from the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this light and I'm going to move this light forward. I'm going to take the other light. I'm going to move it forward also. So when I take a picture of this bowl now, what you can see is you can actually, there's no dark shadow on the front of that bowl. And if I back up a little bit, now in the video, as you're looking at this, obviously we don't want the white sides over here or anything else, but if I was taking a picture with a camera, what I would want to have happen is to be able to take this picture without any flash. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my camera, which is a Sony CyberShot. It's about an 8 or 10 year old camera. It's 8 megapixels. It allows me to shoot automatic, manual, flash, no flash. I can change the depth of field and some other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 or 3 different shots of this bowl with a still camera, and I'm going to put them in the video so you can see what the difference looks like. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take some pictures with the front down, with the flash off, then the flash on. Then I'm going to put up this screen and take pictures through the slot. I'm in automatic. Zoomed in. The blue really stands out in my still camera. Here's shot number 1. No flash. Autofocus from a distance of about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. Shot number 2, same picture with a flash. Two pictures, one from the front. First was no flash, this one's flash. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the screen up. Now, what I'm going to point out, that's a pretty good look. You're able to see this pretty well. When you look at the front of the cube, there's a strip of Velcro here, a strip of Velcro in the corner, strip of Velcro down the side. Same thing on the other side, same thing on the bottom. These drapes, or the side of this cube, will come completely off. It will come on. So what I'm going to do is simply lift this up. Pin it in the corners, pin it to the top, let the Velcro do its job. Pulls everything pretty tight. Sometimes you just have to do a little adjustment, and it leaves you the slot to shoot through. So if we looked in here, open this up a little bit, can't see it at the moment. Alright, so when you do this, it's the same thing. You just have Velcro on it. Take it off this 2 corners, Take it off these two corners, remove the drape. As you can see, that's a matte finish. And when you look at this, it's a shinier finish or a glossy type of a finish. Depending upon what you want, use the appropriate side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one down, fold it up, get all the wrinkles put back in it again. I'm going to use the red one. And what I'm going to do when I put the red one up, I'm going to use the matte side. I really like what that looks like. Still going to have wrinkles. What you can see in the corner is on this side, which is the shiny side, there's a piece of Velcro. On the matte side, there's also a piece of Velcro. There's 4 of them, 2 of them in each of the 4 corners. So it makes it really easy to use whichever side that you want to use. So this is what the piece looks like with a red background. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through and take a few pictures without the flash, with the flash, with the drape open and the drape closed. Picture 1. Picture 1, no flash. Picture 2 with a flash. Picture 3, no flash. Picture 4 with a flash. And again, this is autofocus. Put the drape up. Go back in here again. No flash. 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 No flash. Now, the other thing is you can change the perspective. Obviously with the drape down, I could come in there and shoot it, but it's a round bowl. So no matter which way, it's really not going to change the perspective. If you had a piece that was off center and you wanted to show it in a different light, you could certainly turn that bowl. So what we're going to do now is do the same thing. Take the work out. Take out the red drape. Put in the white drape. White drapes just like the red one, the white one, the blue one, the black one. It's got a glossy side and it's got a matte side. We're going to continue with the matte side. For the pictures. Obviously, with a white one, you have to be ultra careful to keep it clean. Any spot on there is going to really show up. There's my picture. There's the bowl. Same thing. Camera back on. Regular shot. No flash. Flash. Front view. No flash. Flash. Now what you're going to see when you look at the finished video, I'll put the stills in there and I'll probably talk over and point out some things. So this gives you the basics of the photo cube, the lights, the drape, shooting through the hole, not shooting through the hole. I should do this also just so we have a standard comparison of what's going on. And we'll take two pictures again. No flash. Well, that really looks good. Flash. No flash. And flash. So what I want to do now is stop the filming, shut down all the photographic equipment and everything, go process this on the video, take the pictures off of the camera, and then I'll put the pictures up there and I'll go through some critiques. And this gives you a good idea of what you need to do when you're looking at your pieces. The other thing is I'll come back out here with a segmented bowl that is finished. It's a Beads of Courage bowl. Take a few more pictures of that, do the same thing. And it'll give you an idea of what several different pieces might or might not look like. I hope this helps you. All right. Now this is a product or a piece that most of you will be familiar with. Not this particular one, but one like it. This is a Beads of Courage bowl. So it's bigger. Let me see if I can give you some perspective of the size. And let's talk about perspective for just a minute. Sometimes with different pieces, especially very, very small pieces or even medium to larger size pieces, you need to put something in the picture that gives it perspective. So everybody here pretty much can get some perspective off of this. Just a can of lacquer. So you know how big a can of lacquer is, so you can get an idea of what size the bowl is. Now, I wouldn't shoot a production picture with a can of lacquer in it for comparison purposes, but find something potentially to put in there that gives it some perspective if you think it needs perspective. Something particularly large, you might need to have something in perspective in there so that people get an idea of how large it is. Something that's particularly small, the same thing. You might want to put something in there. Now, would it work if I reached in my pocket and pulled out a quarter and laid it on there? Not really. It doesn't really help the picture any, doesn't really help give it any perspective. You know, people would just wonder what it is. So you have to think about what you're doing. So let's talk about setting up to take the picture. Right now it's sitting there. I've got the lights on, I've got the drape down, I have a white drape in there, and you can see what it looks like. And if I just wanted to see what it might look like with the red or the blue, I would simply, without taking the white one down, put the red one in there or the blue one in there and see which one reflected the light the best. But what's important here is two things. Number one, does your piece have a lid? This one does. Do you take the picture with the lid, without the lid? Do you put the lid down here and take a picture? You might. Do you put the lid down here and take a picture? Yeah, I'm not sure I like that one. Do you just put the lid on the bowl? For my taste, you have to have at least one picture with the lid on, like it's supposed to be the finished product. Right now, if I tilted it forward, you can see the Beads of Courage button on the top. It's probably not important that people see the Beads of Courage button on the top. What is important is this. This is a segmented piece. It does not look the same on all sides. How are you going to present the front of the bowl? This one, I'm going to zoom in a little here. I know I'm standing in the way. This picture, as you see, shows most of the tornado design on this side and the start of the tornado's design on this side. If I turn it a little further, you'll see more of this one, less of that one. This one's darker. This one's kind of mixed. This one's dark all the way. Well, I'm going to tell you, that looks really, really good. I can see the bottom of this one here. I can see just a corner over here. That might be how I'm going to position the bowl to take my picture. Same thing with the top. Tops look different when you look at them. You can see it's got some pattern, it's got some lines on there. Some of that's going to show up in the picture. If I put it on like this, what you see out of the top, zoom out just a hair, what you see out of the top is a fairly solid piece of walnut. If I turn it this way, you see mostly solid, but you see a little light and a little light over this way. If you turn it this way, you're going to see multi-colors and multi-hues. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn it this way, where it shows a fairly consistent top color right there. And then what I'm going to do is go through and take a few pictures. Now, when you come to the analysis part, several things are really important. Don't have preconceived ideas. Look at your pictures, look at what came out, look at what it looks like on screen on a typical monitor people would be looking at. Most of this is going to be computer imagery. It is not going to be printed out for quality. If you are taking pictures to have something that goes in a catalog or a brochure that's going to be printed, then you have some other considerations. Do not have a preconceived idea of which one looks better. The same type thing, if I move this back further, the light is going to change on the front of the piece. If I move it forward, which is the same as moving the lights, you can see that the lights and the shadows change. Play with the piece placement of your piece, the placement of your top, and what you think it's going to look like. And then you're going to do the same thing that we did before. move this over to the side, give you an idea of what I'm doing. What I do with my camera. Let me guess. I took the camera inside and didn't bring it back. Well, let me go do that. Okay, back. I found my camera. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 2 shots of the vase, where it's positioned. Side lights are on. Drape is down. White drape in the background. Take one from above and one from the front with flash and no flash. So from the top, zoomed in just a bit. No flash. Flash. That'll give us some perspective to discuss. The other thing I'm going to comment about the photo cube, the pop-up cube. If you want to look for these, put in photo pop-up cube or photographic pop-up cube. You'll get many of them. Again, I'm going to put the links to the ones that I bought so you'll know which ones I bought and you can take a look at them. You can look at competing ones. Be sure and read. If you're on Amazon, go on Amazon, look at the different ones offered, read the customer contents. Several people bought the cheaper version of the lights and they fell apart and they didn't like them. I bought these lights for a specific reason because it had the best reviews to it. So do that. So what happens when you get done with your photography? You've gone outside. You've gone outside. You've done all your photography. You've done it in different settings, different lights, all that other stuff like that, and now you're ready to go home. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off like this. Since I'm doing this, let me move the camera back, give you a better idea of what's going on. Hopefully I can do this and do it the first time and get it right. This is called a pop-up, so it also has a pop down. Alright. This is called a pop-up. It's very light. It's also a pop down. When you get it, it comes square perfect, make every picture perfect, professional photo cube, 30 inches by 30 inches. Get a look at that. Alright, good enough. Carrying case. Photo cube fits in there. All the drapes fits in there. Lights don't. You have to deal with them in a different way. But it all fits in there. Here's the best thing I know how to tell you, all you woodchuckers out there. This thing folds up like a bandsaw blade. It's got round springs in them. Spring steel. We'll do this. So see, it's bendable. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend this thing down. like this, and like this, and get it down to that size, more or less. Put it up here where I can see what I'm doing. Get it down to this size, and then we're going to take it and twist it much like you do a bandsaw blade, except you do it on top of the desk. I did it first time. I've done it twice. It works twice. Put it back in the container. Fold up your drapes. Put them back in there. Not going to bother folding up the other ones to put in here. Here's the other one I had, black. If you have lighter wood, this might be a really good choice. Anyway, this is John Estrello, Whispering Pine Studio. Thank you for being here. If you like, press the like button. If you really like and you're not subscribed, press the subscribe button. I appreciate your time and hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to answer them as promptly as possible. And again, down below in the description on YouTube, I'll put the links to where I got the information about the PhotoCube. I'll put the information on where I got the lights and anything else that I think is important. I'll put the link to Tom Stratton's video. It's worth looking at. I believe that Sam Angelo also has a video out there on photography, and so I'll put that link in there also. Thank you for your time today. Have a good weekend.